Welcome back once again to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert, and again, Cindy is here for her third episode because we have a lot to talk about. She said we could do this all day. What's come through time and again in the conversations we've had is the why. You have this thing about discovering the why, and one of the things we talked off camera about was, I don't know how long I'll be able to do this, right? You, in fact, saw a sign, and tell me what that sign said during the race.
Yeah, here I am showing up in my yoga pants. This is taking you back to my first race at Run Disney was, again, the inaugural Tinkerbell in January in 2012. Again, I'm embarking on my 50th birthday in the upcoming July, and I show up untrained 30 days before the race to do a half marathon, and I am a hot mess. But while I'm going through this pain, the costume runners are keeping me going. And there was a sign that I actually captured. I'm so glad I did. Captured a photo of, it was right towards the end. And it was a woman holding very proudly a large poster board saying, "One day you won't be able to do this. Today is not that day." And for whatever reason, those words still stick with me today. And I'll ask myself, okay, so is today that day? Nope, today is not that day. So I keep on going and I keep on registering. And so this year, I just celebrated my 60th birthday last year. So here I'm going to be 61 this upcoming year. And I'll keep thinking to myself, okay, mentally, physically, is today that day? And so far I'm excited, knock, knock, knock. Been blessed with good health. And because of Run Disney, I also attribute to stay in good health that today is just not that day. So we're going to keep it going. But yeah, definitely mind and momentum and motivation plays a huge, huge key factor.
And I have to guess that you learn piece by piece, and now you probably have a pretty regular training regimen that you follow. You don't?
I'm horrible. I am horrible. My husband played, and this is, I don't want to blame this on my husband. I'm horrible. My husband is a former pro ball player. Oh. And when I would leave these half marathons very sore, he shared, kind of really encouraged me to ice bath after the half marathons. And if anyone's ever done an ice bath, they typically run many, many miles away. Well, I have to say I pleasantly have developed a reverse chill method to ice bath. So I am a horrible trainer, but I'm a great recoverer. So as a former runner, or as a runner yourself today, you know how you feel after a race. And, you get that lactic acid in your system and you can be pretty sore. That can kind of deter you from a race or to train harder. I do so well with my ice baths. I'm horrible. So I don't encourage anyone to do that. Don't show up and throw up. Do not do that. Train hard, because there's also pride in the training.
Yes.
And there's also disappointment when you don't train too. And more importantly, bottom line, you need to come first. And I'm talking to myself right here, reminding myself, here we are 30 days away from the princess race. I need to put myself first before the effort, or else that day is going to come. One day you won't be able to do this. And I ask myself when I get close to not failing, I'm like, oh my gosh, is today that day? And I caused it where I could have prevented it. So there's a lot of, I'm talking to myself right now. That's and maybe good. To others. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I think you're doing both. The training that you have done, I mean, is there a method or methodology? Because for me, yeah, it meant the world. I know from a confidence standpoint, I don't think, a marathon sounded very daunting to me, right? Halves, I got into it. They sounded hard at first too, but then I got into it, right? Your perspective changes when you train. When my training's like, I was doing 14, 15, 16, 18, 20 miles in a training, all of a sudden I was like, oh gosh, a half marathon doesn't feel like anything anymore. And by the time it got to run the marathon, I was very confident because of my training. Your confidence comes from just completing, or where does your confidence come from?
My confidence comes because I've been able to conquer over the past 11 years. And so I know what to expect. So I have the self-prediction as to what's coming next. So I guess it would come from the experience of knowing the course, what's coming next, running a Disney race multiple times. And so I just know I can do it. mentally for the long game. For the long games, there's certain things that I take on the course that are recovery things that I use. I use a lot of mustard on the course for cramping. And there's things that I use personally for different methods. But the biggest thing is the mind game. There's with any race, I don't care if it's a 3K, a 3K, excuse me, a 5K or a full marathon. The mental part is so, so, so important that for the fools, you just said it. I know I can do a half. You can do a half. And I definitely can do a 5K. So I get done with my full marathon, breaking it into 2 half marathons. I get done with my first half marathon, and then that's gone. My second half marathon, to complete that full, I break it into 5Ks. I've got 4 5Ks left. And so I never think of it as a full marathon. I've ice bathed for the previous races. I'm only focusing on this last one, which is a full marathon. But to me, it's a half marathon plus 4 5Ks. And then I start saying 1 5K down, 3 to go, 2 5K down, 2 to go, 1 5K down. Oh no, we're all done with the full marathon. So, but I play a game with it, and you have to sometimes do that as well.
I agree. Play is at the cornerstone of everything, I try to do with training and sharing with our community as such. Cindy, I can't thank you enough for your time and everything you brought today. Is there anything more I needed to hit? I know we could do more of this, and this doesn't have to be our last one, but is there anything more I need to hit today on this day?
No, yeah, no, I would just say again, positive mental attitude is really key. Be the difference, make a difference. And no matter what you're doing in life. And, when you think you can't do something, give it a shot. Give it a shot. And if you can't accomplish it that day, keep going, train for that to where you can do it. So change your can'ts into cans. So that's the only thing I said. Again, I'm a gal who never ran before my 50th. And here I am 11 years later, still running Disney in full costumes. Hopefully we'll see some of y'all on the course.
Outstanding. This has been Daily Dose. Thanks, Cindy.